Sorry we had a little delay this morning. I'd like to call our meeting of November 9th to order. And the first item on the agenda will be public input. Anybody have any public input? Yes, sir.
I like the display on the truck out front, of the sanding truck out front.
Right.
Has the county purchased a new one? Or is it in?
We haven't purchased one. We've ordered one.
Yeah. Was that something that was in the budget? I mean,
No.
Okay.
It will be discussed on Monday with the delegation. We have two options. One, they can either buy it outright, or they can go through a procedure whereby we'll budget it for 4 years, but it'll cost the taxpayers an additional $5,000 if we do that.
Okay.
I'm hoping that we can buy it outright for $35,000, which includes the plow, the truck, and the sander.
A new sander also?
Yeah. It's one of those fiberglass ones, you know, it's
Okay.
not gonna rust.
Right.
This one here, they've had problems with it already.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how old this one is, but the truck, I believe, is a 1994
Okay.
Ford. Anybody else, any comments? If not, we'll suspend with our minutes right away, but we're running behind, so I'd ask the sheriff to come up and present his budget.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I hope you have copies for the three of us?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, what I'm looking at, I can't find it.
Yeah.
I have two items. Basically, the draft of the worksheet, and then the exploded example.
Okay.
And I filled it in pencil just because it's behind going back and forth.
Okay.
One copy for each.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I guess we can go in the order that it's listed there. First with the revenue.
Okay.
We have the revenue coming in for the writ fees is the same as it has been this year. And then as you're reading down, U.S. Forestry was dropped to 10,000 because that project was dropped in half, you know, from 20 to 10. We anticipate the AOC will reimburse the county $111,000. Special details, that significantly dropped to $13,000. And grant funding, that's from the Attorney General, that will remain at $30,000.
Could you explain that for that? What is the reason for that? That grant?
We have a project that we're actively supporting the Attorney General with right now.
Okay.
And the $30,000 is reimbursement for manpower.
Okay.
And that's renewed on an annual basis. And is that renewed now, or is that, Mike, you know?
July 1st to July 1st.
Yeah, July 1st, July 1st.
Thank you.
And then the Albany contract, that's new this year. We started at the tail end of last year. Other income and dispatch income hasn't changed. On page 2, starting with administrative salaries, which is line 001. We have that mislabeled. It says 2011, but this is a workup for this, you know, for 2012. The administrative salaries include Lieutenant Santuccio and Mrs. Shackford. Grant, that is the AG reimbursement and the highway safety. Line 3, special details. It's listed at 2,240. I'm not sure why. I think that's an error. I have to recheck it. It should be 10,850.
Which one?
Number 3.
It's on this other page.
Salary, sick and personal days, that is a number that's significantly different than what we've historically used. However, that's the one based on the business office data, which is the 26,000. Overtime, line 05. That's estimated to be 42,599.
And that's overtime for who? For deputies?
Yeah, no, that includes all staff. Estimated overtime averages approximately 105 hours annually, which averages 2 hours weekly per person, on average. Line 6, secretary, 1 secretary. Salary deputies. This is an increase from the 486,000. And it's showing 11 sworn. The sheriff and lieutenant are listed separately with a 3% increase.
The deputy's salary, that's according to union contract.
Yeah, so we estimated it on the high end, the 3%.
3%,
I'm not
okay.
sure what it is.
Okay. We won't know that until April
Right.
1st. Would you have a problem if we tried to negotiate that so that it was November 1st of the previous year?
Yeah,
So that we can plan better for our budget?
I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
Line 8, special deputies.
Excuse me, can I go back one?
Yes, ma'am.
You said the special deputies, 11 sworn, and that included the sheriff and,
No,
No.
no, that would be separate, myself and the lieutenant. I'm listed on a line as is the lieutenant. He's
Oh.
on a,
so that's only 11 sworn deputies?
right. Special deputies, line 8. 31,000, that represents 180 days of coverage by part-time deputies. 1 day is 8 hours. And as a general rule, but it's not fixed, it's manning is 2 deputies working 0700 to 2300 hours. We'll always have 2 on. But that's, you know, that's a guide, that's not anything etched in stone. A lot of times we only have 1 person working. And right now we have 9 special deputies. C9 is the, that's,
I'd rather not discuss that issue. That's a delegation issue.
okay,
Salary for the sheriff.
okay.
So it should be in there as of whatever it is now, which I believe is 60,375.
Right, the only thing that's added in addition to that was a, you know, the cost of health insurance. I don't take it, so it isn't the, you know, it isn't actually the 77. It's a 60,375.
Okay, I think you ought to put 60 in there, and then when it comes time for the delegation to make the changes in elected officials, that's the time that gets changed,
Okay.
okay? It looks like the rest of it is the same as it was last year.
It is close.
Down to
yeah.
education and conferences.
Right, it is close. Yeah, lines like 13 to 16, we basically
Yeah.
received guidance on that.
Yep.
Education and conferences, 17. That is a change up from 5,000.
Is there some reason for increasing it?
Well, I was sending more people for training. And I was taking it out of other line items. You know, I mean, the last 2 years was out of other line items, but like last year, the actual dollars so far are 5,700. And it's probably going to remain at that. Where are we?
Now, that training on the education and conferences is different than the training, firearm training and equipment training?
Yeah, the education conferences is typically when somebody goes to an event. I've gone to some. Usually, any of the ones that I've gone to have been, you know, paid for by the Justice Bureau. But as an example, we sent several of the dispatches to conferences in state, and it's called NADA, and it's like a three-day event with information and training.
Okay. But that is under the dispatch budget, right?
Right, yeah,
So-
yeah, that would be on a dispatch
Yeah.
budget. I can think of, let me give you an example. Mike, can you come up with an example? I can't think of anything.
For routine training for us,
Conferences.
we have the Attorney General's sexual assault conferences that we generally have to send someone to because there's updates. We have training that we have to do 8 hours, at least 8 hours minimum a year. We also have mandatory firearms training. We're finding a call for more expertise in other areas where other departments are cutting. We're trying to fill in on stuff like financial crimes and other things. So there is a call for a number of training that we have that needs to get done at the bare minimum, but also trying to fill other areas.
Okay.
I'll have to give you a list on that, you know, the ones that we went to this year.
Yeah, I'm sure the subcommittee's going to be.
Yeah, because
looking for it.
I just can't think of it as I'm sitting here.
Okay.
What they were.
US fire salaries is down.
019.
And yeah, I think you mentioned that in the revenue.
Yeah, that was the grant reimbursement that was cut down
Yeah.
from 20
Yep.
to 10.
Okay. Other fees and services.
Okay, other fees and services, 7,500.
That's up $2,500. Are there other?
Attorney fees, miscellaneous contracted costs.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the genesis of that is. I mean, the actual dollars up until last month were less than 500,
Yeah.
but the year before was 23,000, and I'm not sure what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check.
Okay.
K-9 deputy expense, investigative supplies, prisoner meals. There's a significant change in uniform expense. Bailiff specials, offices, court offices, that's estimated as 500 per. And that is a
That's
change.
at the discretion of the sheriff?
Yes, on the contract it says everybody's allocated minimum of $450 a year for the uniform members of the contract. For bailiffs and court officers, it isn't defined. You know, it's based upon what they need. And that is a change from last year.
From 6,500